Tekashi 6ix9ine went from multi-millions to being broke. Daniel Hernandez spent his early life as a troubled kid. When he was a teenager, Tekashi worked at a deli, but when he eventually got fired for selling drugs, he made music his priority. He started out recording in a basement studio to no audience, but then out of nowhere his music blew up overseas, and Tekashi signed with a record label in Slovakia where he became a local superstar. After touring Slovakia, Tekashi achieved seemingly overnight success when the music video for Gummo reached millions of views and launched his career into the stratosphere. Fame and fortune started coming in fast because of that, but what went wrong? From then on, Tekashi blew through money like there was no end to it. Normal flexing quickly turned into lighting money on fire like the Joker. One of his first major purchases was getting his girl a Birkin bag, but 188K Birkin wasn't enough. 400K on Birkins was just the start. Tekashi built one of the craziest jewelry collections that the world has ever seen, one he had no idea he'd eventually lose. A few of his key pieces were a $2 million Bruce the Shark diamond pendant, a $1 million double baguette spinning VVS chain, multiple 14-karat grills, and many other pieces worth well over 10K. He'd rock those pieces while he whipped around in his $3 million car collection. Tekashi owned multiple supercars, all custom wrapped like his 2019 Lamborghini Urus worth more than 170K, or his 2017 Bentley Continental worth 85K, but his crown jewel was his $1 million Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. When he wasn't on the ground, Tekashi exclusively flew private and spent more than 10K per hour of flight time. He also never traveled alone. He always had to have his $100,000 security detail to keep him safe from his ops like Chief Keef, who he beefed with for a while. But Tekashi's world fell apart when he was arrested in a RICO case along with his associates in the 9 Trey Bloods. He was going to spend the rest of his life in prison, but just as quickly as the case started, it was over, because Tekashi snitched on his co-defendants, earning his freedom but losing all of his credibility in the process. Once he got out, the world rejected Tekashi. The once gangster rapper was now a joke, and he had a target on his back, so he had to spend even more money on security and started shacking up with Steve Will Do It to manipulate every dollar out of him. But just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, they did. Because even though he beat his RICO, Tekashi couldn't stay out of trouble. First, he got jumped. Then, he ended up back in cuffs. The worst came when the IRS started to investigate him for tax evasion and money laundering. It turned out that while Tekashi was spending millions on flexing, he wasn't giving a dime to Uncle Sam, which now had caught up with him. The police raided his home and seized all of his cars, all of his jewelry, and even his furniture, leaving Tekashi with little to nothing left, and even more legal cases to deal with while they auctioned off all of his belongings. Now Tekashi lost everything. No fans, no relevancy, and most importantly, no money.